Hello, RE out there. It's Mark with Redo Over, and we're back to our Stellaris in-depth, no DLC 4.0 vanilla, playthrough. We're gonna do this thing. So where did we leave off? We had just gotten some stored science research, and we went over what all that means and how useful it is. Man, it's worth doing small anomalies early on in the game in hopes of getting some stored science research because it really accelerates that process. Now, we very specifically have not been going for science. And I'll tell you what, in the game of Stellaris, science is one of the most powerful things you can go for. Now, later in the game, you want to get a lot of alloys. Now, for right now, the only thing we can really use alloys for would be to build up our fleet of corvettes to 20. We're at 15, or we're at 5, so we lost like our belt mangler fleet. But yeah, so we could have that done with about 1,500 alloy. Have that just done and done. So although alloy is extremely important, our need for it is a little limited in the early game. It'll change pretty quickly as we start building star bases, we start upgrading star bases, defensive platforms. Yeah, you can go ham with it. But at the same time, you don't really need 20 defensive platforms at like your main home planet, usually within the heart of your empire. Take a long time for the bad guys to get to your home world, blast through all your defensive platforms and conquer your capital. And at that point, you've probably lost the game. So science is a big one. Now, we very deliberately, with our Babaki people, made the choice to not pursue science. We're going for Unity, and we're going hard into Unity. So we want to make sure that we keep pursuing temples. Although, interestingly, we did go into the Discovery tradition, which is science-related. But we'll be capping that off very shortly. We're tearing through this quick because we are generating a lot of Unity each turn. But we can keep getting more and more Unity. So let's run that clock. I know Isius Prime is about done with its... I think it's working on a temple, right? And... there we go. Let me speed it up just a little bit. And I believe our colony ship is touching down on Elysia right there. And you can see now it'll take them roughly 2 years to turn that into a colony, where we'll make more temples and more priests. But we've got a general event popping up. I don't think this is from any of our scientists. This is just a thing that can happen in the game. A light was seen moving in the sky of Fula. Its gentle arc standing in stark contrast to the slow revolution of the stars, the citizens of Fula see it as proof of recognition by the powers that be of a subtle blessing to our cause. Comet sighted, modifier added for 5 years to just the planet of Fula, happiness plus 5%. Cool. That means they'll all work better at their jobs. And we got that in particular because we are spiritualists. Yes. Not every civilization would have seen that as a blessing. They might have seen it as an omen. I did notice something here. Desert world. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Well, let's zoom out a little bit. Hey, this isn't a bad thing. Recall that we've been looking at some of these worlds, like down here at Raltree. That's tropical. That's no good for us. We also have Wegmore, continental world, no good for our people. What else do we have here? Alpine world, no good for our people. We're like desert, arid, right? We like the hot, sandy worlds, dune worlds. But over here at Castor 3, it is a desert world. If it proves to be habitable, because remember, it's potentially habitable. We will have to go survey it, but that's a world we'd want. Now, the trick with it, although it looks like it, as the crow flies, it's relatively close, we would have to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems away to get to it. Might be worth us doing. And then down here, Ocean World, at Joralworth 2, not going to be any good to us. We're not going to like that world. But I definitely think after we've claimed our first 3 we have 3 worlds, I think we should build out this way with our surveys and try and get to Castor and claim that planet. I think that'd be pretty smart for us. There could even be a little world hidden back in this arm here. We haven't sussed that out yet. It may be worth bringing the fleet back at this point and doing a little backfilling with that. I know it's kind of a long way around, but this is a good choke point. Either Castor or Jorel War is a good stopping point because it means there's only one leg into our system. I think Castor would be the perfect stopping, personally. So what are these guys doing? Hijack fleet, let's bring it back. Let's send them all the way back in here to survey this little pocket of planets. I don't want to just keep going deeper and deeper out into the galactic arm there if I can help it. And we got the ISS Canway completed some construction. Awesome. I think we're out of work for them right now. Yeah. There's nothing else over here for them to really look at. Do we want to claim the Brakmar system for its 4 energy? Is that all in one plant? No, it's in 2 little plants. So that would be 1 energy for 2 and another energy for 2. So it's a doubling, but it's not a really efficient use of our stations, I'll be honest with you. Now, good news is individual space stations that are harvesting research or materials out of the void do not count against your empire size. So you can have hundreds of stations, even if they're not real efficient ones. They're not going to harm you in any real sense, except that 1 energy credit drain on your economy every month for every station. So, but yeah, let's actually send the Canway back this way. Can I go there? Yeah, might as well. I am going to move one of these science ships onward. And who should that be? Where are these guys going? No orders. Oh, wow. The Atalante has no orders. Well, we know where we want them to go right there, because it's kind of like, look at the spider web of the galaxy here. We have branches to the west, to the north, and the north branch has multiple branches. Down to the south, we have a large southeastern branch, and we have a southwestern branch. There's a lot of directions we can grow our empire that we can keep surveying. So how do you decide? It is it's like a little gambling game, a game of chance. You don't know what you're going to find out there. But we know one of the most valuable things we can have is colonies, and we see a potentially suitable desert world there. That's what's going to choose us to focus our science ships and our constructor potentially on getting over to Castor. Now, because it's only a potentially habitable world, maybe I should send my science ship all the way out 5 systems to Castor to survey it first. I wouldn't do that, because if it turns out to not be a properly habitable desert planet, or even if then you kind of wasted your time getting out there anyway, and you maybe didn't get a chance to get mining stations and claim these closer systems who could be producing alloys, minerals, energy, and other research for you. Or same thing, you send your side ship out there first, you find that it is habitable, but now you've got to backfill and survey all these, and you're missing out on potentially the resources you harvest. So I would, in general, recommend expanding star system by star system. I wouldn't skip around a whole lot, because you do want to claim stuff as you go. Like here at Brakmar, it's like, the ISS Amon is still surveying the system. They might find other good, valuable resources beside the 4 energy, in which case it's a system we potentially want to claim and get our hands on those resources. Ultimately, claiming star systems that don't have habitable planets, the main benefit that provides you is resources for the energy credits to run the stations. And if you have 20 uninhabitable star systems, but each one of them is giving you, say, 5 resources, that's about 100 total resources up here. Now, what's hidden from you is the fact that you're losing the 20 energy for all those, and a little bit of empire size. Obviously, each system is costing you 1. Yeah, 1 per. Oh, that's not actually particularly bad. Let's see. 50 districts cost 2 a pop. Check out how I'm figuring this out real quick. Of the 4 things that cost you empire size, the districts are costing us 7.5 empire size because we have 15 of them. So each district is a half. Yes, half of an empire size. Each system is 1-to-1. 1 empire size per 1 system. Each colony is 10 empire size per colony. Wow, that is expensive. And then finally for pops, what are we coming out to here? About a 1 per 100. Am I reading that right? I mean, it's a little less because we're pacifists, but yeah, that's roughly what it's coming. Every 100 pops is 1 empire size. So everything else is relatively cheap. Pops, systems, districts, relatively cheap, but the colonies themselves, ouch. Yeah, that's super expensive. So we have our constructor ship going to the galactic north. We have our science ship going to the galactic north. I have some pretty expensive anomalies we're just going to let sit for the time being. But let's run that clock. Well, hold on. Did we get our temple? We did. And do we have people working at the temple? Priest jobs are relatively full. We lost our colonists. The colonists left the job. Ooh. Is that good? Is that bad? I hate going to the no tab down here. Just we are getting from our priests a bunch of unity, a bit of amenities and some scaling, and from our colony workers, just general I guess they're colonists would be the name of the job. Getting planetary build speed, stability. Yeah, they're not getting us a whole lot, are they? Wow. Yeah, they don't seem to be nearly as good. Nearly as good. Huh. So I think it's well suited then that we're switching people over to the specialist temple job. Okay. Could we get another building going? Do we have enough minerals? Yeah, I suppose so. Let's get a second. Well, this is interesting. We could build Autochthon Monument because it doesn't take pops. It doesn't take workers, right? Did we talk about that? It's going to provide a boost to Unity from any Unity-producing jobs on this planet, so priest jobs. In general, every 100 civilians will produce a half a Unity. So in this case, we wouldn't get much. Got to be a little bit tricky, careful though, because for every 100 pops total, every 100 civilians, I should say, it's an extra half of a consumer good. I don't know that that's usable just yet. I think when we have a little more population, we get that Autochthon Monument. But yeah, let's throw another temple in there. What the heck? At this point, I would say things that are useful to us would be more minerals. Pause that right there. As we are trying to develop our first 3, potentially 4 colonies in the next decade of gameplay, we're going to need a lot of minerals. We want to move most of these civilians into priest jobs. I want as much unity as I can get because I want to keep pushing these traditions forward as fast as we can. This is pretty exciting though. We've gotten here. We only have a single pick left in the Discovery. We're going to take it. Faith in science. The public has come to regard science as something almost akin to a religion. Their faith in it is absolute. Oh, the silly fools. The worlds are flat. I don't know if you know that or not. There is no question in this universe is so big that it cannot be answered by science. There you go. Research upkeep minus 20%. That's not really that useful to us, but we'll take it. That is going to give us... We're getting 3 things with that final capstone pick. It's really nice when you cap off one of the tradition trees, you actually get 3 rewards for that 1,000 unity we just dropped. 1,050 unity. Check it out. We got faith in science. Cool. Not that useful, but we'll take it. What the heck? Up here, finisher effect. Adopting all Discovery traditions grants research speed plus 10%. And so that's a second thing we got. And then we get an Ascension perk unlocked. And that is right here. You can see this horrendous... What the heck is it? It's like a space alien thing. Anybody tell what that is? It looks like a crouching demon in fire to me. I've never really been able to tell what the Ascension perk thing is. But here we go. We've unlocked one. We're going to click it. And now we're gonna equivocate about what we want. I always do. I'm always like, I don't know what to pick. There's so many choices. There are not that many choices. So early on, with your first Ascension pick or 2, they only give you, 10, not even 10 of them. All right? We'll review them real quickly. There are additional ones, but some of them require you to here we go. Defender of the Galaxy, at the very bottom line, the red X says requires 3 other Ascension perks to be selected first. They're essentially saying, yeah, this is a late, early to mid-game Ascension. You can't get it sooner than that. So there are some of these that are just locked out. There are also, they have all sorts of things. Here, this one, World Shaper, it requires the climate restoration technology. So yeah, if you can look through all these, and I would recommend it. There actually aren't that many. There are only 5. Okay. They're all locked out for a reason, though. But up here, let's look at the ones that are available early on. These are probably going to be available to all species that I can imagine. Some of them are better than others. What I'm going to say is look out for early Ascension picks that are good in the early game, that wouldn't be so good in the late game because it would be too late for them to have an effect. And that's really, and then after looking at that, then look at the value, like how much of what they're giving you that you need. I would balance it out that way. Because for instance, Consecrated Worlds, here we go. Consecrated Worlds would allow us to consecrate up to 3 uninhabited planets. Get us some Unity. We could do that. The nice thing about that is it's uninhabited planets, so we could consecrate worlds that aren't suitable for us, like Wegmore and stuff, and we'd be like, you're consecrated, you're consecrated. That would then, because we're spiritualists, we would get a boost to Empire-wide amenities and Unity generation. Scaling to the spiritual significance of the world's consecrated. Cool. All right. So Unity boost. What else do we have here? We'll start at the top. Interstellar Dominion. This would give us a reduction on our starbase influence cost. So when we're claiming a system by building a starbase there, it'd be a 20% reduction to the amount of influence. Remember, influences are extremely rare resource that we're only getting about 3 of per month. So a 20% reduction would take it from, 75 now to 60? Yeah, that's 80% of 100% of 75. There you go. 60. This is a pretty good chunk. It's saving us 15 influence, meaning 5 months of influence generation from that pick. What else does it get us? Minus 20% to claim influence cost. Sure. Claiming systems has to do with systems you're going to get eventually, but they're not in your territory yet, but you're going to go to war over them in a border region with an alien empire kind of thing. It does cost influence to make claims, though, so it's not like you just get I claim everything. I dibs, 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 dibs. You're limited by how much influence you have, so be cautious. Empire size from systems, minus 50%. That's actually pretty huge. No, it's not. No, it's not huge. I was thinking colonies. That's not huge at all. It's a big discount, but remember, each system is only costing us 1 empire size. So it's a half of a, If you got 20 systems in your empire, it would add up to 20 empire size, but our empire size could easily go north of 300. So having 20 or 30 empire size from the number of systems you have and then taking a discount of 50% would take it down to, say, 15 out of 300. It's just a little chunk. So, all right, let's keep going. Technological ascendancy. Research speed plus 10% more. So this is a really good one to pick right after you capped off Discovery Tradition Tree. Because the finisher on Discovery Tradition is research speed plus 10%. And then you can immediately go in and take technological ascendancy and get another research speed plus 10%, just like that. 20% increase your research speed within a couple of clicks. That's powerful. Rare technologies appear at 1.5 times the normal rate, meaning 1.5% chance instead of 1%, so 50% more. Relative, yeah. Not bad. What else? One Vision. This is probably the one we're going to take. So let's jump back real quick here. Interstellar Dominion would be useful throughout the game. Because early on, you're making your initial starbases, and you have a limited amount of influence. It would be useful early on through the mid-game. Even in the later game, you're probably going to be fighting border wars with other Xenos, and the claims could come in handy. And later in the game, if you do have a chunky empire with 20, 30, 40 star systems, having that little empire size reduction would be, a little bit useful. So better taken in the early game, mid game at latest. I probably wouldn't take it in the late game at all. Okay? Technological ascendancy, probably good through the whole game. Yeah. There's never a time you wouldn't want it. It's always useful, especially access to those rare technologies. The longer you have this Ascension perk, the more chances you have for rare technologies to pop up as you complete technologies. You see how long it takes us to finish even one technology. Many years, usually, per technology. Then it randomly gives you 3, 4, maybe 5 new picks. One of those could be rare. But a very small percentage chance that they'll be rare. So, technological ascendancy, I would recommend picking in your first 3, and it'll be useful the whole game. One Vision, monthly unity plus 10%, government ethics attraction plus 50. This is a good pick for the entire run of the game, so I'd take it early, but you could take it in the middle-ish. I wouldn't pick it late, because usually you've finished off all your traditions by the end of the mid-game, I would say. You could fill up the whole tradition window here, all this. You can get all 7 of them. And then you're kind of... You still need unity for leaders, but maybe there's a couple of edicts that could be fed by unity. At some point, we're gonna have way more unity than we need. And in particular, you may not have a unity-focused civilization, in which case this would not be useful. So One Vision, I would say, is probably not useful to all societies. But in general, it's a good no-brainer pick. It's probably what we're going to take. Let's go through a couple more, though, here real quick. Consecrated Worlds. This specifically is for spiritualists. Again, it's getting you empire-wide amenities. Oh, okay, I don't find amenities hard to come by in 4.0 Stellaris. So, and Unity generation. So, I think One Vision is an easier way to get Unity, because we don't have to consecrate worlds and stuff, and it probably gets us more unity because it scales at 10%. Whereas consecrated worlds, I think it's based off of how good the planet is. Like, is it a Gaia world or whatever? And then you make it you only get 3 of them, though. That's the problem. It's not like you can go around and consecrate every uninhabited world that you don't want. If it was, that would be freaking awesome. You just consecrate 20 garbage worlds relative to your people, and then if anyone else goes on and you're like, I'm gonna declare holy war. Yeah. Okay, Master of Nature. This is a mid-game pick. Clear blockers cost minus 33%. Sure, when you have the energy and you need to clear blockers because you've built up all your districts already, we're not there yet. Also, unlocks the Master of Nature, max districts plus 2 per world. That's great when you've already used up all the districts and you've cleared all the blockers and then built into those districts. So this is something that would not make sense to pick in the first 3 picks. You'd want to go with this with your 4th or later pick. It might be a useful way to get more people squeezed onto your planets, right? It's just more districts. Imperial Prerogative, empire size from planets, minus 50%. Official capacity, plus 2. That's pretty good. That's the planet one, not the system one. So that's a good minus 50%. That saves you 5 empire size per colony, folks. That's not a half. It's 10 times better. Literally, 10 times better than what we were getting from Interstellar Dominions, empire size from systems. It's huge. It is really big. And plus 2 official capacity. That's not a bad thing. If you're, in particular, now we're playing on a tiny galaxy. Small. So it would be less useful for us. It's still good, but it's less useful. If you're playing on a middle to large size galaxy, though, and you're going to have a big chunk of empire with a lot of planets, this is huge. Because the 2 extra officials mean planetary governors or sector governors, because you might be running 5-6 sectors. And now you can have a governor for each because you get you only start with 3 officials. You're getting 2 more, and there's ways to gain others. So for a large empire, sprawling empire, this is huge. Take it early. Probably not on the first pick. I could see taking this on your second, third, fourth pick, but right here, right now, you don't need 2 extra officials, and you don't need the reduction to empire size just yet. We haven't even hit 100 yet, so I wouldn't grab it right away, but I would grab it. Executive Vigor, questionable. Edict Fund plus 100 is a chunk. It doesn't scale, unfortunately. Council Agenda Speed plus 15%. Now, I can tell you for the way we've done our build, the Edict Fund here is almost useless. We will have essentially all the Edict overhead we're ever going to need, so we really don't need this. The Council Agenda Speed reduction, or speed increase of 15% in a positive way, is not bad, but there's probably some trait one of your leaders can get that could get you that, or whatever. It's just Transcendent Learning. Leader experience gain plus 25%. Leader upkeep minus 15%. Scientist capacity plus 2. The leader experience gain's not bad, and that's for all your types of leaders, including your ruler, so it's okay. There's a lot of ways in the game to get leader experience sped up, though. Leader upkeep minus 15, also not bad. That's going to relate to the unity they're taking, so it could even help our build, surprisingly. Just more unity left over for traditions. Okay. And scientist capacity plus 2 is really nice. That's big. Do you want to run 4, 5, 6 science ships surveying all at once? There you go. You got your head of research, and then everyone else is in a science ship, or maybe they're all in I think even your head of research can be in a science ship. They're all out there surveying, and this would be really useful on a medium to large galaxy in particular, where you're just trying to spread as fast as you can. Yeah, you could rock and roll with that. I think that's a solid pick. Earlier is probably more useful with that, because your leaders are going to gain experience faster. They'll cost you less, and having a bunch of scientists surveying is more useful in the early game, and its usefulness will die off in the mid game. Why? Because you'll run into the alien borders of all the other alien worlds, and at that point, unless you have some sort of treaty with them, you oftentimes cannot travel into their space. They'll close their borders to you, and you'll do vice versa. So it's not like you're looking at this galaxy map here going, oh my god, there's 100 star systems, I need to survey them all. You probably won't, unless you very specifically go for a peaceful Federation style collaborative thing. You're not going to survey every system. You'll get stuck, and therefore it's not really useful to have 6 survey scientists and ships by the mid game. There just won't be anything for them to do. You still might need a couple, because little anomalies will pop off. It'll be, oh, send a science ship here within the next 5 years to get this reward, and you're like, oh, all right, I need a science ship. But beyond that, checking debris filled from a combat, you go survey it, gather debris with your science ship, so that you'll still need 1 or 2, but not a lot of them. Okay. So, and finally, shared destiny here. Subject specialization conversion time minus 20%. Available invoice plus 2. Subject exempt from divided patronage plus 1. And that just means that if you are subjugating other aliens to you, you could have 1 extra civilization subjugated before it starts wearing away the relations with all of them. Usually when you when another species or civilization subjugates to you, you essentially get to collect some taxes from them. And they're like, hey, you guys are in charge, we like you, and you want to keep your reputation with them, your trust level and all that, growing in a positive direction. You want to keep it really high, where you're like, these people will never betray us. What happens is, if you take on a second or third or fourth subject civilization, each one realizes they're just a little piece in your galactic conquest machine, and it gives negatives to the direction of their approval, trust of you, and it degrades everyone's relation with you. So you got to be careful. You get 1 for free. This would give you 2. If you want to go that way, that's not a bad idea. 2 extra envoys would be handy for making first contacts, for spy networks, improving relations, hurting relations, that kind of stuff. That would be a better choice on a larger galaxy again. On a medium to large galaxy where you're going to have 10, 15 different alien species, that would be probably a solid choice. But we're not playing that way. So all that said, that we've reviewed them all, let's go back for one vision because I just want that flat 10% unity. Super simple. Boom. And we should see that jump up here as we run the clock around. Oh, there we go. Jump to 69. Nice. I meant for that to happen. All right, what's going on? Construction finished somewhere. Oh, yeah. Are we still just waiting for these guys to move? Go. Go, go. You go. Go. And this guy's coming all the way back. All right, new trait popped up. Logistics understanding. Sweet. Where is that? So our leader, Drowned Morgan, got logistics understanding. Dock ship upkeep minus 5%, army upkeep minus 10%. Oh, that sucks. That's not going to help us. We don't have any dock fleets. We're still waiting for the belt manglers to come back. We don't know exactly where they're at right now. Now, I know with Isius Prime, I want to get more colonists sent over there pretty shortly. Let's jump into Isius Prime. There are 100 jobs available as colonists. Yeah, we could send people over there right now. Let's do that. Let's jump into our capital. Let's go to No tab. Go to resettle. And who do we want to send over? Some civilians, obviously. Isius is auto-selected, remember, because we've got a very limited number of colonies. And here we go. It's just going to cost 100 energy. We have plenty of it. Boom. Did that do it? Was that a whole 100 and there's civilians? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we jump back over to Isius, and now system survey. There we go. It filled up 100 jobs. Very nice. We're pausing real quick. We finished survey Bracamar. There's almost nothing there. That's kind of sad. Wait, I am wondering if we should just send all of our science ships down this corridor in that race to get Castor 3. Let's do that. I wouldn't mind surveying these other systems and getting the Raltree planet into our space, but I don't know how useful it's going to be. So let's send both of our science ships up this way, and we'll have them leapfrogging each other. I was going to say piggybacking each other, but leapfrogging each other on our way to get to the Castor world. And here's our first contact event pending. The irregularity we had designated as the beta aliens appear to be made of some sort of crystalline material. Curiously, it seems to be able to propel itself across the void and protect itself when necessary, indicating that it might be alive. Our researchers are working hard to find out more. Keep at it. There we go. You see another 80 days till the next stage goes by. Difficulties 5, bonus skill 1. That's coming off of Big Alex, I'm guessing. No insights. And for the time being, they are hostile. Now, if you recall, that's down here. These are the aliens that took out the belt manglers. And we never got a good look at them. But I would bet if we had a ship pop in through the jump point here, hyperspace point, we would get a view of the actual alien entities. And if you zoomed in, you would probably see they actually look like little space crystals. So you can use your actual eyes in metagame and see, when you have a ship in the system, you can see what the aliens look like and kind of make a guess at it. Are they Tiyanki space squids? Or are they space crystals? Or mining drones? Yeah, you can usually visually see that once you get to know the game a little bit. So it's kind of a minor cheat, but it can be helpful. Oh, lights flickering. Let's jump into Fula here. I'm going to pause real quick. We have 1.7k civilian jobs, so plenty of civilians left. Dare I say we need more temples? Yeah, I think we do, folks. Or is now the time to build the Autochthon monument? Autochthon. Yeah, let's do it. Now would be a perfect time to get the Autochthon monument, because you can see we're generating 77 unity on this planet alone. We have no deficits. This planet produces everything it needs and more. So if we click in here, we've got enough minerals. At this point, this might make sense. It's going to produce 1 unity by itself. Okay, up at the top, it's producing 1.4 unity. Why is that? It's because we have a little bit of 10% from One Vision, Evolving Society, Fanatics, Spiritualists give us boost to all of our unity production. The One Vision, by the way, that 10% in particular is the Ascension perk we just took. Okay, it's based off of 1 base unity. That base unity is coming off of way down there. Produces 1 unity for each Ascension perk our Empire has taken. We've taken 1. So now with no jobs and no upkeep, this is a free building. It doesn't even take 1 energy. Again, it's just like a statue. It's just a memorial or something. Costs us nothing, and no civilians have to work it, but we're already getting 1.4 unity from it. That's cool. Remember, we can put one of these on every planet, and we're going to get more and more Ascension perks, and we're going to get them rapidly because we're dumping so much into Unity. So at some point, we'll be making 5 Ascension perks. We'll then be getting 1.4 times that. So we'll be making like 7 Ascension or 7 Unity just for a building sitting there. No cost to us. Not even 1 energy upkeep. It's really good. Beyond that, though, under the planet modifiers, Unity from all jobs plus 5%. So that'll affect the 77% right now. So it's essentially 1 more Unity for every 20, right? 5% is a 20th of 100%. So we'll get 3 more. Yeah, okay. And Unity per 100 civilians plus a half. So in this case, we're at about 1,600 civilians left. That's 8 more Unity. And the only trick is it does cost 1/4 of a consumer good per 100 civilians. So that means, we'll say 16 groups of 100 divided by times 0.25 or 1/4 is going to be 4 extra total consumer goods for all of our civilians. They're consuming more. It's a luxury to have this monument, essentially. There's eating popcorn, going to the monument, doing whatever the hell they do. So that means that's going to be 4 right off of our 16. But I think now's the time. We're ready for the Autochthon monument. You know, we can only have 1. It has a planet limit of 1. But yeah, let's do it. 100 minerals, 1 year. Boom. It's going to be more Unity, folks. It's going to be a lot more Unity. Why did our Unity just drop? No, it didn't drop. We're at 69. Now it's more. Excellent. Okay, so we'll watch that progress bar. That's going to tear along. And we're sending both of our science ships up here. I can see we've already found 6 mineral. Yurgel? That's like a Scandinavian, isn't it? Isn't it the YR a Scandinavian thing? Like Jagersil? How do you say the life tree in Nordic religion? Yggdrasil? Say Yagil? I don't know. I'm just making shit up now. Let's jump in here, though. Look at that. That's a 6 mineral moon right there. That moon around this barren world, 6 mineral by itself. Plus more mineral, plus more mineral. We'll pause right there. Yeah, we're going to want to take that system, and we're going to want to get all that mineral. That's a massive bonus. 1 system is going to increase our mineral output by 1/3. That's good. Okay, but we got 2 fun things popping up. Tradition and research. Let's do research first, because we're going to talk a lot about what our next tradition pick is going to be. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but let's do this. This is a technology, planetary unification. Grants a small amount of unity, probably a 1-month lump sum, if I had to guess. I don't know. It doesn't really tell me. Monthly unity, empire-wide, plus 5%. That's permanent. So awesome. 5% more, folks. And unlocks feature additional edicts campaigns. A variety of edicts known as campaigns. That's good. We like edicts. We're going to rock them. We're going to rock all the edicts, folks. That's perfect. So let's choose a new research. So real quick, again, this is going to be the society tree. Currently, we are at a plus 14% on the research speed, per month. That's coming off our discovery tradition finished. We've capped the tree of discovery. Got a 10% speed bonus. And our head of research is giving us plus 4%. probably because they're level 2. 2% for each level. So that's not bad. I just wanted to talk about that. Up here, we get 4 new picks right now. And here are the 4. Echo Simulation. This is good for getting more food from our farmers for each farmer, or star-based constructions such as hydroponic bays. Did we ever build a hydroponic bay? Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes, I can see right there. Star bases are yielding 10. We got it. So that right there would be 1 more food. Each hydroponic bay produces 10 food. A 10% bonus to star-based constructions means 10 goes to 11. All right. We don't really need food, though. We have so much food. It's fine. Are we selling food? I think we're selling food. Yeah, we're selling 10 food a month. We got all the food we could ever want. Soil Reclamation Center. That's cool. It's a building. I wouldn't mind, but it's a specialized building that takes exotic gases, which we don't have yet. So, okay, keep going. Space Doctrine, Fleet Command limit plus 20. Now, that is not the naval capacity. It seems very similar. They both have that cool fighter craft ship, which is so awesome looking. I love that. I love that icon. But this means you can fit 20 more command worth of ship into a single fleet, not the number of total ship capacity in all of our fleets together. It's different, right? So right now, our Belt Mangler fleet can only have up to 20 command worth of ships. Our hijack fleet, only 20. If we took Space Doctorate and completed it, that would go to 40 and 40. You could have way more corvettes, way more cruisers, way more destroyers, all in a single fleet. So in my mind, Fleet Command isn't as useful as naval capacity. Usually you're trying hard to push up your naval capacity. And you can always make more smaller fleets. You can have all the small fleets you want. So that, but it costs you big time if you go over your naval capacity. So, and then it unlocks the Edict Fleet Supremacy. Oh, I do like that. Ship starting experience plus 100. Ship build speed plus 10%. Diplomatic weight from fleet power plus 10. And it's an Edict, so I like those. Just for the Edict, it might be worth getting. Just screw around and have it. I still am struggling, you guys, to figure out where you see your ship experience. Per ship, per fleet. If anyone... I've poked around often for years. I've never... And I've looked deliberately where I've been like, oh, how do you see the ship? Where's the experience bar? Please, in the comments, if someone knows what I'm missing about ship experience levels and how to see what that is. Because presumably as your ship goes from green to veteran to experienced or whatever, there's some categories. They get faster fire rate, they get more hit points, more travel speed, I don't know. Better dodge, I don't know. But I'm guessing they get something. So, but I can't seem to find it ever. Let me know, folks. Here we go. Soil Reclamation. This is the technology to clear a given type of blocker called the quicksand basin. We don't need that yet. We are not at the point of our game where we're worried about clearing any blockers, so this can wait. This can wait. This will always be here, or it'll come up randomly, but we don't need it right now. And then finally, Doctrine, Fleet Support. This is a big one. Naval capacity plus 25. That will make this 20 go to 45. 20 plus 25, 45. More than doubles our fleet capacity. Bear in mind, if we start dumping more of these alloys into corvettes, which we should probably be doing, we will do. We should always be building a couple. Throw 2 or 3 corvettes in there until you get to your naval cap. It would allow us to push up much further. The trade-off, though, is every time you push up say you get to 20 of 20 ships, and you're maximizing your power projection, you're at 100%, you're getting a lot of extra influence. But every time you increase your naval capacity from 20 to 45 in this case, in this example, our power projection would drop from 100% down to 45%, and we'd have to then build the 25 missing corvettes to get from 20 up to 45. You got to push up to your cap all the time to maximize power projection. So just chasing after naval capacity but not building the ships can be a detriment because it's costing you influence. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. Caution. Do we want that edict? I do want the edict. I love edicts so much. It's probably not that useful yet, though, because the only thing that's really helping us would be the ship build speed. It's not that useful. Oh gosh, this is tough. None of these are that useful to us, folks. Heck, let's do it. We said we were going to go after edicts, so if everything else is roughly not that great, I want edicts. There you go. Space Doctrine. Normally not a pick I would make, but screw it. And while we're on the subject, so we've chosen that. We're 90 months out. It's going to take a while. Let's jump into our shipyard. Let's build a couple more corvettes. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to go crazy. I don't have that much alloy. I'm going to save some in reserve because we know that we need around 90 alloy, I think, to build each starbase. So, yeah, I want to keep a little bit in reserve. Some point, it might be worth building defensive platforms. But probably, defensive platforms go at your space stations, and no one's threatening to attack us yet. So I would always recommend building up your fleet first, your star bases, and then with whatever's left can go into defensive platform. I would go in that order, personally, if anyone's wondering. Couple things to look at here. Traditions pick, yes, but I noticed that our trade value is zeroed out. We are sitting flat. Let's jump into the market to adjust that. I don't need to be saving up a lot of trade per turn, but I would always like it to be moving in a positive direction, not falling. We don't want to get too crazy with our trade. So why is that happening? No reason. We're selling, buying. We're buying good stuff. Let's sell a little more. Yeah, let's do this. Let's jump into food. We, again, have way more than we need right now. And we will just, what is it? Shit, control click? Yeah, there we go. Control click the plus, gives us 10 more. Add edit. And what are those coming out to? What's food going for? Selling for, that'll be 7 more trade, right? 10 times 0.7 would be 7. So that'll push that up into just a little bit of positive territory. And let's go into our traditions pick. Sweet. You can see our unity keeps climbing. We're just steadily pushing up the unity. Every month or two, we're getting more and more picks to push up that unity, which is fantastic. But it's time to choose a new tradition. Select. You can see discoveries is gone from the list. We're down to 8 now. I will remind folks that we only get 7 total picks. And there are 9 total traditions. So 2 of the traditions you won't get access to in your playthrough. But you get most of them, so don't sweat it too much. I can, right off the top of my head, probably be sure I'm not going to take diplomacy on this playthrough. Yeah, probably not. Not that it would be bad as a are we pacifists? I think so. I think we're pacifists, so it wouldn't be bad. But what would help us right now? Supremacy is great for warfare. Better ships, cheaper ships, fire rate, all sorts of cool stuff. Naval cap. But right now, we don't have any enemies to fight. So supremacy is suitable for later in the game. Early game, I would say it's not particularly useful. I guess if we were going to do some sort of rush trying to conquer enemy species, we could do that. But it's really hard to rush because you're building up these fleets with very limited alloy production, very limited fleet naval capacity. And then you got to send them a long way to get from your star system to the enemies. Early conquest is hard. But if you design really good ships and you made all your picks towards being militaristic, you have better fire rates and better, commanders, yeah, you could win some wars that way. So supremacy can wait. I would love something that would give us more unity. Is that under harmony? Let's take a look. Let's look at harmony real quick. Pop-up keep minus 10%. On the cap, you get colony ascension effects plus 25%. Ascension is a little way out for us. Governing ethics attraction, minus 10 to crime. Not that we really have a problem with crime. Extra stability. Colony ascension costs. Over here, empire size from pops. Pop job demotion time. It's not a bad one. That means that when you're moving people from an elite job to a specialist job to a worker's job or vice versa, well, it only goes down. They'll make that change very quickly. They'll be like, I was an elite, but now it's time for me to be a specialist. I'm not going to piss and moan for 3 years waiting for a better job to come along, waiting for another elite job. I'm just going to go into the specialist field or specialist into the worker field. Not that it's cool. It's nice to have, but usually you just kind of, with any luck, are building the jobs people need for the populations you have? Question mark. Leader lifespan and leader maximum negative traits -1. Not bad for leaders. And edict fund +50. Okay, I would say altogether, harmony's not bad. I don't know that I really want it right now. Adaptability, pop housing usage, habitability +10%. That would actually be useful for all of our 2 new colonies that are coming at 80% habitability. This would push them to 90. And that just means everything's a little more efficient. Growth rate, their jobs. That would be a pretty nice thing to grab early on here. It just makes our worlds operate better. On every job, everything with the people just is better, cheaper, more effective. So that is a pretty good 10%. Over here, specialized resources we don't have yet. Damage. This is super boring, I know. Domination? Worker output? Okay. Wow, jeez. Capital buildings. Monthly influence, official capacity. Counselor experience gain, +20%. That would be nice. Expansion. Maybe we should take expansion now or never. Expansion is one of those ones where you expand in the early game, but you don't really expand in the mid to late game. So if you're going to take it, now would be the time. What would this get us? Colony development speed +25%. Habitat upkeep reduced. And the cap on that would be max districts on each planet +1. It's useful for later. Starbase influence cost -10%. We are building star bases. That does deduction would be useful now. It would probably, well, it's only influence, not ally, but yeah, it would be useful. What else? Empire size from systems and planets, both at a -25%. That's pretty useful. We know how expensive the planets are. Starbase upkeep -20%. Over here, colony development speed +25. Urban districts when established colonies +1. You just get a free district. And pop growth speed +10%. That's pretty good. Prosperity, this is the last one we'll look at here. Mining district output +20%, or mining station. And resources from orbital stations goes up by 25%. So this really focuses around your space stations. Okay, but it's good all around though. Planetary infrastructure costs -10. Planetary infrastructure build +25. By infrastructure, I just mean buildings and districts on your planets. So they're cheaper and you build them faster. That's good. City districts, ring world segments, we don't have those, arcologies. Planet infrastructure upkeep -10%. Resources from all jobs +5. It's actually really good. And upkeeps from jobs -5. So I want prosperity, but prosperity will be useful to us all the time. Let's grab expansion now because I think expansion will be more useful early. All right, so let's do it. We're going to adopt expansion. Boom. Not really helping us out too much right now. I don't know if it'll retroactively decrease the time for Elisa, but we'll have other colonies coming up, and we'll get the next pick in 18 months. Sweet. Oh my gosh. Your gel's up to 13 minerals, folks. That's going to be a huge benefit for us. Okay, pausing. That was research complete, and Voidborn Mary got Spark of Genius. Holy cows. Voidborn, you didn't. You did. Effect as a counselor, research speed +3%. And Voidborn Mary is our head of research. Oh my gosh, that's huge, you guys. That's actually really valuable. Let's jump into technology. Remember how that was at 14? It jumped to 19. Why? Because she gains Spark of Genius, is a +3 right here. 14 +3 is 17, and she went to level 3 scientist, which is an additional 2. 17 +2 is 19. All of our research progress speeds are at +19%. Voidborn Mary is awesome. We do not want to lose her. We do not want her to die. That would be bad. And we did complete another technology here. Zero-G refineries, mining station output plus 10%. That's all mining stations? Yes, I had this conversation. I've already forgotten. I think it's not science stations. It's not research stations, but it is going to be mineral, energy, alloy. Yeah, right? I think. The addition of intentional refining to mining stations will substantially increase mineral production. But again, I think it's not just minerals. I think it's all stations that aren't research stations. But let's choose a new research here. Interestingly, we have more... No, sorry, we have a progress bar, but we've only got 4 options. Okay, fine. Here we go. Corvette build speed. It's a cost reduction and it's a build speed increase. That would be useful to us now. We are trying to get our naval cap maxed out. So nothing wrong with that. We don't know how to build frigates yet. Planetary infrastructure build speed plus 25%, and a new building, the automation building, would do what for us? Automated workforce in this district. Oh, I don't know. Wow. Oh, wow. That is something I do not know about. It limited 1 per planet. That's a new building I haven't messed with yet. Might be worth getting just to see how that works. Building upkeep per automated districts plus 8? Holy crud. That would chew into your energy really quickly. Oh, I'm very curious about this now. Probably we should learn about this. Couple more options though. Geothermal fracking. Minerals from miners plus 20%. Minerals from star-based constructions plus 10%. So that's not a bad pick all around. And finally, materials workshop. It's another building unlock here. Limit 1 per planet. Engineer research per 100 engineers is plus 1, and it will give you 200 more engineering jobs. So it's a science building. We aren't really heavy into science though, so I think I'm going to skip on that because we're just not going for science. Crap. Let's go for this. The planetary building build speed of plus 25% is just nice. Instead of it taking a year to build the temple, it'll take us 270 days. That's cool. And I really want to find out about the automated building. Do I need it just yet? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Yeah, that's the whole point of digging into 4.0 here. Oh, yes. Ready to go here. So let's take the constructor. Let's get the Canway to build the starbase. That is done. And... oh, shoot. Oh, I don't want to lose another fleet. I paused the game here. Let's do a couple things. So we're going to claim the Yergel system. Let's take the Atalante and leapfrog up to... I can't even survey. Oh, that gray on... Ishwing? I can't even read it. The gray on the cloud makes it just completely illegible to me. Let's see if I click in there. Here we go. Eshiq. Yeah, I wasn't going to get that. Okay. And then let's jump into here real quick. Can we save our fleet? So this popped up. Now, there's a whole bunch of crystalline ships. Several fleets with way more fleet power than we have. These guys, oh my gosh, come on, would absolutely crush our fleet. Oh yeah, we don't have a chance. So rather than have our fleet get annihilated, asteroid ambushers. Oh, we're making a new fleet. This is back at our homeworld, by the way. The asteroid ambushers are the new fleet. Our Fula A station is making those corvettes. Let's grab them. They're trying to get to the star as part of exploring. Let's grab them. Nope. Let's see. How do I stop the order? So I'm all fast. I'm like, it's not a real-time strategy game. I could take it easy. I can take all the time I want. Now I want to cancel their orders. Here we go. Stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. You can stop doing it because we're sending your ass back. Now let's watch what happens. They're turning around. Oh, the enemy's coming. Shit. They couldn't jump out. Dang it. So, at least I tried. At least I tried to pull them back, but Yeah, we got another missing fleet. So, we're just flushing our Corvettes down the toilet right now, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Missing in action. What else do we got here? What else do we got? That's the battle fleet statistics. That was our ass kicking. Just like, what do we got here? Anomaly. Okay, let's click on it real quick. It's a hard anomaly. It would take 2.5, 3 years. No, we'll leave it for now. Dismiss that. Yes, system survey completed. That's it. Urgil. I'm going to say Urgil. I'll try and remember to say it the same way every time. I am really excited, though. That is a very beneficial system. Very beneficial. And finally, first contact pending. Ooh, here we go. This is about the crystalline entities. Oh, we might be able to make peace with them. A little late, considering we've lost 2 fleets to them, but our researchers have finished investigating the reports of extraordinary free-floating crystal-like objects observed in the Principality of Fulu's system. Their findings are startling. In Fulu's system? What? They're not in the Fu system. Okay. Right? They're not... Okay. The ship-sized objects and their slightly smaller but equally crystal-like satellites at first appeared inert, but sudden shifts in their orientation relative to our ship and new energy signatures emerging from within the prisms indicate that they should be regarded as hazardous and approached with caution. As we do not wish to risk coming into conflict with these prismatic enigmas, we ought to establish remote surveillance and observe them from the capital. What am I missing? Okay. Sorry. In the Principality of Fulu system, around the capital, I have no idea what they mean there. I literally am looking at Fulu and I don't see anything there. Okay. We have 2 options. Fascinating. Issue special project crystalline study. We would gain 30 influence right now if we take that. It's not bad. I take the influence. And the other option, because we're a pacifist only, crystalline pacification. And it would also get us 30 influence. We can learn to coexist. Let's do that. We're pacifists. That plays into our thing. We get the same amount of influence. And we're starting a special project. Hold on. So let's just look at a couple things here. Let's jump into the Fu system. Just looking around. Oh. Yeah, no, we have a special project here at Fula, at our capital. Okay. So we could click on that, or we can jump up here. You see the little yellow dot, situation log. Crystalline pacification study is available. Let's click on it. Oh boy. It's going to cost us 3,000 physics research. So interestingly, this event, what is this even called? It's a project. Yeah, so a special project. We'll sit here in our queue forever. In this case, there's no time frame for it. So we could take all the time in the world to do this if we'd like to. And we would like to. Essentially, what it'll make the crystalline entities switch from red hostile to yellow neutral. And we can now go into those systems. We can even colonize those systems. They'll ignore us as long as we ignore them. It's really useful. It's really useful to just be able to be like, hey, how you folks doing? And they do their stuff, we do our stuff. It's cool. However, 3,000 physics research is 142 months of our physics research. That's like 12 years. That's 12 years to complete that. That's so expensive. By the way, when you select a special project, if we do this research, when we come into our technologies tab, this will be paused. They do not do both. All physics research stops while they work on the physics-related special project. If it was a society-related project, all society-related research would stop while they worked on the society project. But it's one or the other. So it really would put the brakes on our zero-G labs. I don't think that's necessarily wise at this early stage of the game. Oh man, that's tough. We should probably finish our research station output plus 10%, get a little big a bump, and then potentially we could jump back in. But yes, I think that this special project it is not advisable to take it on now. I think it would hold up our technology because although we're not getting new technology very fast, it's coming in at roughly the amount of time it takes us to get one technology. So it's that much of a pause. Around 10 years, we'll say. Because we're not focusing on research at all. So not only does that hurt us with getting technologies, it hurts us with these special projects. There aren't a ton of special projects, but you'll probably do 10 or a dozen of them over your playthrough. So yeah, it really puts the brakes on it when you suck at research like we do. So it is what it is. Yeah, we're gonna let it sit for now. We will wait for our fleets to come back wherever they are doing whatever they're doing. And I think we're probably at about a stopping point. Let's just check in on our planets real quickly here. Still 17k civilians. We did finish the Autochthon monument, which is continuing to push our unity up. Holy crud. We're at 141 now. That is impressive. Remember, we were at 65 when we started today's session. So it's good on us in a couple of years. How are we doing that? Just tons and tons of priests. Yeah, priests are so useful, you guys. Everybody should be a priest. This is so good. What else do we want? Should we build more temples? I don't see why not. I'm just mad with that right now. Although to be fair, we are getting a little tight on consumer goods. Why? Because if we look in here, I don't want to go to the no tab. I don't want to deal with that. But temples, priests turn consumer goods into unity and amenities. So it's a good multiplier. If you look down in there, you can see it's only taking about 3.2 consumer goods to get 17.9 unity. So it's a big multiplier, right? Like just because we're super efficient at making unity. So it's like a 5-to-1 multiplier. That's good. That's really good. So the question is, do we take our population, our civilians, and put them into consumer goods production, thus allowing us to fuel more priests? Or each temple only takes about 3.2 consumer goods. Do we just go into the market and just buy more consumer goods for 6 trade? Wait, we keep selling food and energy to get more consumer goods? Would that be more sensible, more efficient for our society? It might be. I wonder how much another civilian industry would be. The upkeep would be 2 energy, and it would yield about 19 consumer goods? That's probably more efficient use. Let's be realistic. If to get 19 consumer goods from the market, and they're coming in at about 2.5 trade per, so 50 trade to get 19 consumer goods, or we build another civilian industry, we put 200 pops on the job, it costs us 2 energy upkeep, and we get the 19. Probably more efficient to do that. So let's do exactly that. Let's go into here. We're going to build another civilian industry. Boom. That'll take up 200 of our civilians. But that'll allow us to then fuel an additional 5 or 6 temples, which we will then do. So I could see at this point getting the civilian industry done, building another temple, then maybe coming in and building an alloy foundry, because at some point we're going to want to get our alloy production kicking up a little quicker. But yeah, I think that's good for now. And then let's just look at Isius Prime. Is Isius Prime an industrial world? No, it's not. Let's look at that real quick, and we'll wrap here. You can clearly see we're specifically going in towards temples. We haven't done a specialization yet, although we should. We'll get to it. But yeah, let's jump into here real quick. Industrial world. We're not an industrial world. We're a what? No, not automation. Automation off. Ah, there we go. Oh, wow. If you click on the gear, you get that page. If you click on the word industrial, you get this. I won't review all of these, but these are if you want to really pigeonhole a given planet into a certain thing. A mining world, an agri world, a generator world. And in general, these are like, hey, you get generator districts built faster, and your technicians or your farmers or your miners output more of that resource. Now, each planet can only have one colony designation, so choose wisely. Industrial world would be mixed. A forge world would be only alloys. A factory world would be only consumer goods. Ecclesiastical center, boost unity. Oh, priest output plus 10%. Priest upkeep minus 10%. Namaste. We're going to just take that. There you go. Boom. Done. And that's where we're going to end for now. Actually, here, I want to run it around. See if it'll pop up past 141. 142. We got one more from that 10% bonus. Simple. Oh, wait. Yeah, we don't have enough minerals to build any more buildings. So I think we're stuck there for now. So where are we sitting for next session? Next session, we're going to keep our science ships and our constructor building out this way, trying to get us to Caster 3 as quick as possible. We are going to push up our consumer good output because we're just running out of them. We'll keep building temples, and we're probably going to want to try and get our hands on more minerals more quickly. Because at this point, with 3 colonies and potentially a 4th one coming up in the coming years, we're going to have a lot of buildings to do. And to build those buildings and districts, we need a lot more minerals than we have right now. It's something we might turn off later in the game. We might not need to always have an insane amount of minerals coming in, but for now, yeah, minerals might be our next major focus. If we look up here, though, click on Unity, look at our traditions, you can see how rapidly we're crunching through these. Yeah, we'll get through the expansions for you very quickly. So that's it. If you watched, appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.